Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the 19th race of the Season 1 NRSL Mountain Dew for the Win Cup Series season. 45 laps of racing on tap today as we hit 8 races to go before the chase. After today, it will be 7 races left. Trucks are off this week as they prepare for Eldora next week. Cup will be at Indianapolis next week for one of those big races there. So let's get into the starting lineup. On the pole is Nate Rogers, and beside him is DJ Curtis. In row 2, Zach Rogers and Jay Barker. Nico Tringali and Adam Rogers are in row 3. Michael Amato, Colin Denton in row 4. With Zachary Fitzwater and Andrew Rich in row 5. So 2 Dodgers starting inside the top 10. Interesting thing to note here. Here is your point standings. Colin Denton moved up 3 spots after Kentucky to be the points leader. He has a 3-point lead over Michael Amato. Those two starting beside each other in row 4. Edwin Mendez jumped up 2 spots. He is 16 points behind Denton. Alexander Rowe dropped down 1. He is 17 back. And Alex Gray dropped down 3 from 2nd to 5th. He is 24 back. So no changes of who's in the top 5 in points, just where they sit. Bubble drivers, Jay Barker dropped 1 spot to 25th. He has a 19-point cushion over 30th. And Grayson Acevedo with his win jumped up 9 spots to 28th in points. Only a 3-point cushion over 30th place in points. Johnny Gardner dropped 5 spots outside the top 30. He's 10 points back. Curtis starting 2nd, gained 2 spots to 31st. 34th. He's 11 back. Goldberg 19 back, Dodd down to 39 back, and Seth Cole 49 back as we prepare to hear the command to fire those engines up here in New Hampshire.
All right, well, the fun doesn't start until we ask our drivers a question. Are you ready? Drivers, will you please start your engine?
Now, let's wait for the radios to end. Nate Rogers on the pole, 1 back at Richmond. His win is what has sparked a 10-race win streak for Chevrolet between 7 different drivers. Nate Rogers, Zach Flickinger, Michael Amato, Jonathan Zorlin, all with 1 win apiece. While Grayson Acevedo, Alex Gray, and Chris Dodd have had 2 wins apiece. Acevedo with 2 wins in the last 3 races. Dodd went back-to-back over in Pocono. There are no hometown drivers here in New Hampshire, but there are Massachusetts drivers, and there are a lot of them, and they dominated on the starting grid. Nate Rogers on the pole, Zach Rogers 3rd, Tringali 5th, Adam Rogers 6th, Michael Amato 7th, Austin Alves 11th, and Peter Sands 20th as the green flag is out. We are underway with Nate Rogers getting a really good jump. Zach Rogers starting 3rd is in a very good spot to maybe get that first win of the season for himself and Dodge. It's going to be tough at New Hampshire. Can tend to be more of a high-line track. DJ Curtis, though, with that in mind, has a very good shot to get a top 5 finish here and try and increase his standings in the points. Right now, we still have 5 of our total, 5 of our 15 totaled winners outside the top 30 in points. Jay Barker and Acevedo, the two of those 10 winners on the bubble. And then Amato, Rowe, and Gray are 3 of those winners in the top 5. So there are 5 other winners. They're not in the top 5. They're not on the bubble. Now, those drivers should be Philip Parker, Deanna Jones, Nate Rogers, who's leading, Zach Flickinger, and Jonathan Zorlin. And DJ Curtis is getting huge runs on Nate Rogers, trying to maybe break that Chevy streak. Remember, they've won 10 straight races And he's on that 89, and he might be looking into turn 3. Nope, not quite yet. Zach Rogers in third, Nico Tringali 4th, and Jay Barker 5th. From Rogers 6th, Michael Amato 7th. Austin Alves moving his way into the top 10. So now, all but I believe Peter Sands represent Massachusetts drivers inside the top 10. Now some other notable drivers from New England. Seth Cole is from Maine. He's trying to get his way maybe up to the top 10. Johnny Gardner lives in New York. And that's really all I know from people close by. But Nate Rogers getting a bumper full of DJ Curtis, trying to find any way he can buy him. Zach Rogers, Nico Tringali sitting behind as well. So 3 Massachusetts drivers in the top 5. As here comes DJ Curtis to the inside of Nate Rogers. Coming to the start-finish line, the complete lap 6. Nate Rogers, I think, barely led at the start-finish line. Now, this side-by-side racing is allowing Zach Rogers and Nico Tringali to catch up. But DJ Curtis will complete the pass here at New Hampshire. Curtis had a very strong car at one of the other 1-mile tracks on the schedule, being Phoenix. Pit stop strategy came into play, and he did not get the win. But he leads his first lap here today at New Hampshire with his fastest lap of the race, as Nate Rogers will fall back to second place. Curtis would be trying to become the 4th driver to get multiple wins on the season. Barker sitting in 5th is in a very good spot to maybe get out of that bubble zone. Austin Alves, we said, started in 11th. He's up to 9th place with Andrew Rich sitting in 10th. There is the Anna Jones. There is Grayson Acevedo we talked about. Has made his way into the top 30. Now flirting back here in the mid-20s position-wise, battling with William Brock. Chris Dodd is trying to get by quals. That would be for 24th place. As Alex Gray all the way back here, he might fall out of the top 5 in points with this finish, but he should be in no real danger. Right now, Philip Parker back here. Alexander Rowe back here. Charles Jackson back here. This guy's from Connecticut. So lots of New England drivers. There aren't really any other races in New England besides New Hampshire. As we watch a battle between Eric Benson and John Arndt. I'm checking my regular season schedule. We do have the Meadowlands in New Jersey coming up, Watkins Glen in New York, and then Island Rally, which is on Long Island. That is the only dirt race on the schedule, and it is a road course, and that is going to be a fun race to watch. But right now, we're at New Hampshire, and they've kind of single-filed it up. Tringali seems to be faster than Zach Rogers and Nate Rogers, but he can't find the way to get to their inside. As DJ Curtis, he's pulling away, extending that race lead. I believe these drivers will have to pit once, probably around lap 30 to 35. Otherwise, it's going to look like it's going to be a green and clean race. Battles pretty much everywhere, but they're starting to single file up, trying to get in rhythms, trying to maybe find a way to pass the people in front of them. It can be a very hard thing to do here at New Hampshire. Oh, as Nico Tringali messed up turn 1, that's going to send him wide and a little loose. So he'll lose some ground on the 19 of Zach Rogers, but not really much. He gets that highline run off the corner. But DJ Curtis, he's pulling away. They say this track, it's flat. They say it can be one of those push tracks where you want to be in the lead in order to save your tires. And right now, Nico Tringali might be trying to find a way around Zach Rogers, but he didn't make the move at the right point of the corner. And he's going to fall back. Curtis, as we said, still just he's driving away. As we have a battle for 8th place, Austin Alves looking to grab another spot. Trying to pass Zachary Fitzwater for 8th position. Off of turn 4, he's not clear just yet. He has the spot at the line. He'll go into turn 1 and he will complete the pass on Zachary Fitzwater for 8th place. And Andrew Rich will stay in line back in 10th place. Seth Cole sitting 15th, one of those guys outside the top 30, trying to get a good run. He is 49 points behind 30th in points, which, by the way, entering the race today, 30th in points, is the number 14 of Martin Suarez. Now, that'll most likely change. He is 34th place right now, so he will most likely fall out of 30th. But in regards to what he was told to do today, Seth Cole is doing that job. He is almost 20 spots ahead of the 14 car. More battles now as Zach Flickinger is going to peek to the inside of Johnny Gardner. That will be for 13th place. But a big run off the corner for Gardner. Flickinger has no dice. These tires are getting worn. And I'll tell you the truth, I'm forgetting if I set this to 2x. I believe I did. If we don't see pit stops, that means I goofed. But I believe I did. There's only one way to find out is to watch and see, because there's nothing wrong with this race otherwise. Yeah, the lap times are falling off to where they should be on 2x, so it should be fine. Especially considering what Nate Rogers is running. DJ Curtis just seems to be really, really fast. Him and Andrew Rich, Austin Alves, best lap times of the race. Tringali goes wide into turn 3 now. But Curtis he's gone. 2 seconds ahead almost now. As Austin Alves working to the back bumper of Michael Amato. Nico Tringali again, a little wide. But I think these guys might be getting held up by Nate Rogers because they're starting to tighten up. Oh, and Nico Tringali went extremely wide into 3. He is faster than the 2 guys in front of him, and he keeps overshooting the corners trying to find the way by him. Second place, remember, gets 2 more points than third. Right now, Nate Rogers led a lap, so he will be getting 3 more points than third, which will help him. DJ Curtis most likely will get the most laps led bonus here today. You can just see right there, 669 to a 732. How much faster. Look how much faster he is mid-corner. He just does not get a good spot to make the move. Austin Alves still right on the back end of Amato as Fitzwater might be trying to get that 8th place spot back. Meanwhile, it's single file. There's nothing going on. It seems people are spacing out. Chris Dodd has made his way up to 23rd. Caleb Hoffman trying to get 27th on Joshua Sekuli. That will not happen. But the field has spaced out dramatically, so we know who's good and who's not. Peter Sands has fallen from 20th on the start to 32nd, so not a fast race car for Peter here today. As Alex Gray battles with Samet Oskin. That is for 33rd. So Gray not doing so great after his win at Daytona. Big wreck at Kentucky last week, and now this here at New Hampshire. But as long as he stays in the top 30 in points, he's in the chase with those 2 wins. We have had 15 different winners, 5 who sit outside the top 30 in points, as Charles Sanford will go into turn 3 looking to pass Philip Parker. Charles Jackson sits 42nd. So Curtis is gone, 2.72 second lead. As Adam Rogers trying to get by Jay Barker, that would be for 5th place. As Andrew Rich makes a move for 9th on Fitzwater. So now we're starting to see some more battles here. This is for 5th place and a top 5. And Adam Rogers will complete the pass. And now Alves will use his teammate as a pick to get under Michael Amato. That will be for 7th. Can he hang the bottom? Yes, he can. He got enough of a run off the corner. Andrew Rich still trying to pass Fitzwater. Battles for 9th and 7th. And Andrew Rich will complete the move on Zachary Fitzwater for 9th place. Alves still trying to move by Amato as Gardner fights with Flickinger. Alves still not giving up. Back to the inside of Amato, trying to get by the 24. But he just gets that huge run off the corner. And Alves will have to tuck back in line with 15 laps remaining. Adam Rogers up to 5th place. Besides the leader, the whole top 5 is Massachusetts drivers. That's got to give him some points for the domination. But it looks like Ford is going to shatter Chevy's 10-race win streak. Lap 32. Doesn't look like these guys will have to pit. Even if they do, if DJ Curtis were to pit later than everybody else, even if he pit 1 or 2 laps later, depending on the pit traffic, he should be good to go. I'm seeing no signs that anybody will be pitting. As now Zach Flickinger trying to get 12th place on Philip Goldberg. Deanna Jones looking for 17th. More positions being grabbed. Grayson Acevedo, Chris Dodd trying to gain a spot by passing Tony Green. Benson trying to get by Seth Colas. Flickinger working to get around Philip Goldberg. He's trying his best as Gardner sits 14th. Fitzwater, Denton falling off the top 9 drivers here. Curtis continues to lead and pull away. It'll be 10 laps to go at the start-finish line next time by. Curtis is just holding his line, trying to get by, as Adam Rogers might be looking to gain one more spot. Not going to work there. So out of the top three drivers, Zach Rogers so far has stayed in third, while Nate Rogers and DJ Curtis have switched positions. That was back on lap 7. Curtis still just pulling away every lap. See Philip Parker, Dylan Young, Charles Jackson seem to be slowest cars on the track. Some guys just trying to stay top 30 position-wise. As Acevedo has been on the gain, he's going to take 19th away from John Arndt, as Arndt has been dropping several spots here in the last few laps of the race. Flickinger is up to 12th. Austin Elf started 11th. He's up to 8th. Adam Rogers goes really high, and we got pit stops. Curtis is coming down. Nate Rogers, Zach Rogers, Tringali down. Adam Rogers had to really slow up for those guys pitting, and Andrew Rich has a huge run. Adam lost a lot of time slowing up. He didn't know if he was going to pit or not, and the indecision might cost him a shot at the lead. Pit stops here near the end of the race, as Andrew Rich and Adam Rogers stay out. More people pitting behind them. Fitzwater stayed out too. 6 laps to go. I'm not sure how this fuel strategy will work out. These guys running a bit higher on the racetrack. Curtis obviously has this win in the bag if they don't make it. Nico Tringali has passed Nate Rogers on pit road. He is now the second place driver, I believe. And Adam, Rich, and Fitzwater will come down pit road. Grayson Acevedo had stayed out as well. Joshua Sekuli stayed out. Sam Odoskin stayed out. They're all pitting. I do not see anybody that has stayed out. Zach Rogers lost a lot of track position. He has fallen all the way to last. I don't know what happened to that team's pit stop, but it was really bad, and they didn't need that. They are mid-20s in points. John Arndt also suffered a costly pit stop. Jay Barker had a costly pit stop. So issues on pit road is going to jumble up the top 10. There's Oskin, Sekuli, there's Fitzwater coming out, and there's Rich and Adam Rogers. Curtis has the race lead, as he'll take 4 to go this time by. Looks like it might have just been gas for these guys. But Curtis with a 5-second lead over second place Nico Tringali. Nate Rogers down to 3rd. Adam Rogers somehow stayed in 4th. Zach Flickinger is up to 5th. And we got battles back here for 6th place. Michael Amato, 7th. Andrew Rich, 8th. Colin Denton. Acevedo is up to 9th with Seth Colin 10th. So Acevedo had a really good pit stop. The amount of fuel these guys take must have been really key. Zach Rogers had a really bad pit stop. Him and John Arndt, Jay Barker, all are going to lose big finishes, and that's not what Barker or any of these guys needed. Arndt's been trying to fight back, doesn't have any wins. This isn't what they needed heading at going to Indy. It'll be another starting position track. 2 laps to go for Curtis. Looks like these guys might have done 2 tire pit stops. But this is the run DJ Curtis needed. White flag in the air for the 17. Going back to Phoenix, had a shot at a win. Untimely caution caught him back in traffic. Ended up with a top 10. 2 races later, he won a wild race at Martinsville. And has been in and out of the top 30 in points for a long time now. But today, he captures win number 2. He will win at New Hampshire and all but lock himself into the chase field. And he is our 4th driver to win 2 races. If Curtis can hold himself, he was only 11 back, so he should be into the top 30 with this win. However, if he has to hold himself up there, if he does, he's locked in. Those 2 wins will get him in. Nico Tringali will come home 2nd, Nate Rogers 3rd, Adam Rogers 4th, and Zach Fleckinger 5th, with Amato 6th, Denton 7th, Acevedo 8th. He needed that. Seth Cole 9th, and Edwin Mendez will get 10th. Not 100% who the points leader is going to be. Should still be Denton since he got 7th. That is all here at New Hampshire. I will see you guys first at Eldora. 3 heats, an LCQ, 30 drivers in the main. And then I'll see you at Indy for Cup action. 7 races until the chase for Cup. Counting Eldora for Truck, 6 races remain. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.